नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम् देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. What is the day today? Whose birthday is it? Yeah. If you ask proper Sri Vaishnavites, they'll say Sri Jayanti Nalaki. Because he was born in midnight, they observe it tomorrow. You observe birthday eve today, and the birthday is tomorrow, kind of stuff. So who's going to tell me which is a good, nice Krishna temple in Madras? Anybody knows? Quick, first one gets one more jalebi from Bharati. Where? That is near where she got married. Further down, yeah. That's a recent temple. Old, ancient, hoary Krishna temple in Chennai proper. There, Parthasarathi. Parthasarathi is Krishna. Parthasarathi is the charioteer of Arjuna. If you go to his temple tomorrow, you will have to stand in such a long queue, you will probably come out day after tomorrow. He stands tall, about 14 feet height, crown to feet. He wears a moustache. He is only Krishna who wears a handlebar moustache, like that, like that. Kali Yuga Purusha wears moustache. And he is flanked by Rukmani, Balarama, his brother Balarama, his other brother Satyaki, his son Pradyumna, his grandson Aniruddha, all in this shrine. Family get together. His Utsava Murti of Parthasarathi has got scars on the face. Lord Krishna, after the Mahabharata Yuddham, came directly and settled down in Triplicane, hurt by the arrows of Bhishma, which is seen on his face still. That is the story. Anyway, the story of Parthasarathi, Bhishma. Anyway, so that is Lord Krishna's day, so we have to begin with praying to Lord Krishna, Narayanam Namaskritya, Lord Parthasarathi of Chennai, Tiruvallikeni. That's what it is, called by the British as Triplicane. So we start with that, and we now, since it is the day of the birth of Krishna, I was contemplating, should I go to the story of birth of Krishna? Then I said, we'll continue in Mahabharata as we were. We are in a certain stage. And we will do let Krishna do his work. So where were we? Bakasura has been killed. Ekachakra is down. Bakasura, the Rakshasa, has been killed. Right? Kunti and the Pandavas are disguised as Brahmins and living in a poor priest's house. And as they were continuing the stay, because Vyasa has said, stay there till I come. They are continuing the stay and continuing the study of Upanishads and all that. One more guest lands up in the house. Is another aged Brahmin. That fellow is of stern austerity, all time doing Javam, Parayanam and all that stuff. And only thing is, he belongs to my tribe. He brings tales from far and near. He tells stories. So, he tells them lots of stories, and by he tells them, by the way, did you know that in Panchala Desha, that side, there is going to be a Swayamvara. I heard about it. He tells them, there is going to be a Swayamvara. Those days, Swayamvara is an event. In a king's darbar, if the princess is going to choose her husband in a Swayamvara, it's a royal event. So there's going to be a Swayamvara in Panchala Desha. I heard about it. He tells Kunti and the Pandavas. He doesn't know they are the Pandavas. He thinks they are other guests in that priest's house. Which will be wonderful. And he mentions, by the way, did you know that Krishna, that's the name of Draupadi. Krishna. Krishn for your information. Double A if you want. A is long. Krishna. Lord Krishna as we know him is Krishna. Draupadi is Krishna. Right? Krishna. And Drishtadyumna, her brother. Drishtadyumna. Father is Drupad. Krishna and Drishtadyumna, this Brahmin says, they were born very extraordinarily. Did you know that? They are not been born like humans. They are unique, he tells them. So the Pandavas were now hooked. They were begging almost, tell us the details. How were they born? What happened? So the Brahmin said, first he told them all that they know, the enmity of Drupada and Drona, which we have heard the story, how Drupada was angry with Drona and Drona took revenge on him, and then Hanuman had to come to his knees and swear friendship. But all the time, Drupada had felt very humiliated by being defeated by Drona, and he could not get it out of his mind at all. He was depressed about it, and he lost weight, Vyasa says. This depression is a terrific thing. It makes people lose weight. So if you are a woman and you want to lose weight, get depressed. Quick way. And she became ill. He became ill. That's another thing. So what did he do? He said, the only way, listen, there's no way I am going to be able to defeat this Drona. It's not possible for me. But I can perform a great sacrifice, a terrific sacrifice, and please the gods and get a son who will defeat Drona. That's possible, he thinks. And with the objective of getting a son who will kill Drona, for this he needed to do a terrific sacrifice. And for that sacrifice, a good Agnihotra priest was needed. Not just every run of the mill. Good one. Okay. So he searches far and wide for such a priest, and finally he comes across a priest called Upayaja. And he gives him all gifts and entreats him to conduct the sacrifice. Upayaja declines the job. He says, I don't think I can do this. You want me to conduct a sacrifice to beget a child who will kill Drona? I don't think that's my line of business. I don't do such sacrifices. But Drupad goes on pressing. You must help me, you must have. Sometimes people come, no, you not get out of your door also. So at least you have to point out some other. Otherwise the fellow will not go. So he is not going only. No, and all is crying. So he says, no, you see, my brother is there, Yaja. This is Upayaja. He says, my brother Yaja is there. I suggest that you approach him. I'll tell you why. One day, I saw Yaja. I and Yaja were going in the forest. I saw Yaja while he was going in the forest. He looked down and he saw a fruit that was lying on the ground. He picked it up and he ate it. He did not even bother to inquire about the shuddhi, about the purity of that fruit. He simply ate it. To me, it looks as if this brother of mine, for him, ends justify the means. He simply ate it. He didn't care where it came from, which tree, is it clean, nothing, he ate it. Go to him. He will do the needful. So Drupada goes to Yaja and says, your brother Upayaja, the calling card, he has sent me. He said that you will do it and all that stuff. And I will gift you, O Bhagavan, if you do the sacrifice for me successfully, I will gift you 80,000 cows. Please conduct this sacrifice for me. I am obsessed by my enmity of Drona. I am obsessed. Please do this. I am convinced that no warrior can defeat Drona. So I take refuge in you. By your mantra shakti, please bless me with a son who will defeat Drona in battle and destroy him. This is what I want you to do for me. Yaja agrees. He says, O king, I shall do as you wish. By this yagya, which I will conduct for you, surely you will get a son matchless for his valor, strength and dazzle, who will be the death of Drona. He says that. So a great sacrifice was conducted. A terrific stage was created. And when all the sacrifice was being conducted, and finally, when all the sacrificial ghee, etc. has been poured, a concentrated amount has been consecrated, it was to be given to Drupad's wife to drink. Like in in Dasharatha's case, the payasam was given to the queens. Like that, this sacrifice offering was to be given to Drupad's wife. So he said, and Drupada calls for her, saying, "Hello, O queen, come fast. This ghee is to be taken by you. You will give birth. Hello, O queen, you will give birth to a boy and a girl. So says the priest here, who will bring glory to our race." So he says, okay. But what happened? The queen was inside, she was getting ready at that time. Okay. What do you expect? She was not ready. So she said, "Oh, king, please wait. My face is still red with betel leaves and nuts. My makeup is still not full. I'm still doing my makeup and my fragrance is not complete." She was frank. She said, "I'm still putting on my makeup. Central I put mudikila and moonjila almi kai kala almi kanu kulchtu koncha time wait pannukonta." She said, "Little bit time." Fair enough. I am not ready. I am not yet fully ready to receive the prasadam and the progeny giving ghee. Please wait for a few minutes. But she shouted from inside, "Remember, I need that ghee. I need it." She made it very clear from inside. Don't mess around with that. So please keep it for me. I am coming. Don't hurry me. I'll be there. Few minutes. Now, this Yaja says, "This boss, Muhurtam time is getting over. We can't wait. This is sad. We can't do that. But whether the good lady is ready or not, by this mantra shakti that we have done and the yaga we have conducted, a son will be born to you. There is no doubt about it. And a daughter will be born to you. There is no doubt about it. We will see how, even if she is not there, a son and a daughter will be born." Tatang, he pours it into the fire. Instead of giving it to her. Immediately out of the fire, a young man, handsome young man, Patak, comes out of the fire. He shines like the gods. He inspires fear in the people who are looking at him. He is wearing a dazzling crown. And he is wearing a shield. He is already a grown-up young man. He is having a sword and a bow. And no sooner he comes out of the fire, he steps onto the chariot as if he is ready to proceed for battle. That's how fantastic he looks. All the people who are watching the Yagyam, they are all cheering him. All the people of Panchala are cheering him, absolutely. And the voices from the sky speak of the greatness of the youth and predict that one day he will destroy Drona. The man has been born for the job. Now about this Drona, he had another desire. One was to beget a son who will be the end of Drupada. Drupada has all these names. Bhavarata starts with D and DR. I can't even abbreviate. Drupada begot a son to kill Drona. But you see, he was defeated in battle by Arjuna. Arjuna had come and vanquished him, right? To take revenge. As a Guru Dakshina for Drona, he had come and vanquished. From that day onwards, he has been having in mind, I should have a daughter who should marry Arjuna. Such a terrific fellow he is. We have heard that kind, right? So he had He said, if I have a daughter, I would make her marry Arjuna. Like that he had in mind. So he had probably the Yaja, the priest, read his mind. He said, you will have a daughter. And then after the youth came out of the fire, a young girl came out of the sacrifice, who was named Panchali because she was born in Panchala Desha. She was beautiful beyond comparison. The girl who came out of the fire, a young lady, she was beautiful beyond comparison. She was bearing all signs of good fortune. And Vyasa says, every part of her was worth just going on gazing at. She was so beautiful. This lady who stepped out. She had big dark eyes. She was dusky in her skin, in color. That is why she was called Krishna. Krishna means dark. She was dusky in color like Lord Krishna. She was dusky. She had black and curly hair and her eyes were like lotus in bloom. Her nails were red, long and full, and she had lovely eyebrows. Says Vyasa when she came out. And he says in the Sanskrit verse says, Manusham Vigraham Krutva Sakshat Amaravarnini. It looked as if Goddess Durga had herself come taking a Manusha Vigraham. Like a human, Goddess Durga had herself come out of the fire. Nilotpala samo gandho yasyaha kroshat vadhavati. Whose fragrance from whom was just spreading in the quarters across miles. Fragrance like a blue lotus, like that was coming from that dark, dusky looking, beautiful Panchali. Fragrance was coming out of her. It looked as if Goddess Durga herself had condescended to take a human form and stepped out of the fire for the glory of the world. No sooner, no one on earth was more beautiful than she the day she was born. Right? Okay. When this girl, lovely girl, was born, voices in the sky said, this girl's name is Krishna. This girl's name is Krishna. She is the greatest and loveliest of all young girls. She has manifested for the destruction of Kshatriyas. She has manifested for the destruction of Kshatriyas. At the right time, she will fulfill the work of the gods. Because of her, tremendous fear will be born to the Kauravas, said the voices from the skies. Years back, there was a lady who was born of the earth for the destruction of Rakshasas. Who was that? Many, many years ago, before Draupadi was born. There was Sita. Her very reason of birth was for the destruction of Rakshasas. The reason of the birth of Krishna is for the destruction of the entire Kshatriya race, for lessening the burden of the earth. She is a pawn in the hands of destiny. For a purpose. At the right time, she will fulfill God's work. Hearing both these voices, the entire Panchala crowd roared like a huge pack of lions. A great day. Today is Janmashtami, and in our story, Krishna is born. There is always magic when we tell Bharatam. Seeing this, Drupada went to the priest and fell at his feet and requested, "O Bhagavan, favor me." Meanwhile that lady came out. One Kuanda already born. Already big. One fellow got into the chariot. She had come out. So she quickly made one calculation. Tadam, she fell at the feet of the priest and said, "Please, I have a request of you. You must do me a big favor." He said, "Yes, madam." He said, "These two, although they have not been born of me, I want you to bless us that they treat me and no one else as their mother. They should in their heart and mind and soul and spirit and body know me as their only mother." Tathastu, he says. That shall be done. It shall be as you wish. The youth who came out, the dazzling youth, was named Drishtadyumna because Drishta means bold, fearless, resolute, unforgiving. All that is Drishta. And Dyumna, resplendent, shining, dazzling, bold. And so he was named Drishtadyumna. And the girl was dusky, she was called Krishna. Thus were the twins born of the great sacrifice conducted by Drupada, said the Brahmana, who had come as a guest to the house of the poor priest, who was the host to the Pandavas and Kunti, who were hiding there in the guise of Brahmanas. The great, valorous, intelligent, far-sighted Drona. Dronacharya came to know of the birth of Drishtadyumna. And Dronacharya is a Trikal Jnani. He knows the cause for his destruction has been born. And so what does he do? He saw in it the inevitability of Prarabdha Karma. What has to happen has to happen. He saw the inevitable, says Vyasa. Inevitability of Prarabdha Karma and the birth of Drishtadyumna. And so what did he do? He took him home and taught him the intricacies of Astra Vidya. Drona. Because if he has to be the destruction of Drona, he better learn properly. He didn't want to be messed around. Kill me quick. Right? I mean, do it. Do the job well. He taught him every intricacy of Astra Vidya. Vyasa says by this he did Drishtadyumna a huge favor. Drona did Drishtadyumna a huge favor. Why did he do this? Vyasa says he did this for protecting his name, his fame, and show a great heart. A big heart Drona showed by teaching the person born to be his assassin, by teaching him the art of war. He protected his own good name, his own fame, and displayed his own large heart. Is what Drona did. So far so good. Are we all clued on? Meanwhile, that news of the Pandavas had died in the Lakshagraha, in the wax house, that had spread all over the place. And Drupada especially was totally sad because I told you he wanted a daughter to be born for marrying Arjuna. Daughter is born, but Arjuna is dead. So all the Pandavas are dead. So he is total, and he was depressed, he had lost weight, he was losing sleep, he was ill, all that was happening. So after this, you are born, again he went back into depression. This depression is the funny thing. In between some guests come, he'll be chirpy and fine, after they go away back. Okay, it's a funny thing, Again he went back into depression. And then he called his guru, and the guru said, he told him, you see, this is the thing, you see, I always thought that, this girl, and now this girl has come and been born, such a beautiful girl, and every way you look at it, she looks fit for Arjuna, and no one else on the earth. She's so dazzling, and now this Arjuna is no more. He's going on crying. So then the guru assures him, oh king, I tell you this, that as far as I know, Pandavas have been very, very obedient in carrying out the wishes of all their elders. As far as I have seen, hear this young people, as far as I have seen, Pandavas have been obedient in carrying out the wishes and orders of all the elders, parents, etc. Everybody is listening. They are dharmatmas, they have always been doing dharma. Such people could not have been destroyed. Not in a house fire. It's not possible. It can't have happened to them. And I tell you this, I have seen good signs. I have seen good signs that indicate that they are not dead. Right? And somewhere out there, they are alive. I am certain of this. The Guru tells Drupada. Drupada now, kadang, woken up from depression. You say that? He said, yeah, I say that. They're alive? They're alive. Where? That we don't know. We have to find out. How? I tell you. How? We must think of a ploy for smoking them out to the open. Right? And I have a suggestion. For a Kshatriya, the best way for giving away the daughter, Kanya Dana, is Swayamvara. In our tradition, there are lots of danas. Annadanam, Bhudanam, Shramadanam, like that. The highest is Kanyadanam. Okay? Highest form of dana. In our tradition, there are a whole lot of yagyas that are said to be done by all of us. Okay? When the child is born, during Namakaranam, then during Brahmacharya, after marriage, as soon as a child is born, there is a fire in the name of the child which is kept with ahuti every day, whether it's a girl or whether it's a boy, both. And when they get married, these two fires are made into one fire. When you read Kambaramayanam, Sita's fire was brought from her house, Rama's fire was brought from his house, and the marriage was made into one fire. Now it's a Grihastha fire. Agnihotram is to be done into this fire. This fire is kept alive, burning throughout, day and night. Finally, it accompanies the body of the man and the woman when they go to the graveyard, to the cremation ground, and from that fire it is lit. Right?
Kept alive, meaning it is literally alive?
Yeah, it's kept burning. That's the tradition. Until the only reason why it can't be done is if the woman dies, precedes the man. Then he cannot do yajna. He has no authority to do yajna without a wife. He can get married again, get another fire and do that. That's the only thing he can do. In fact, when there's a great story of there was a Periva in Mannargudi, it was called Mannargudi Periva. It got a name. He's one of the greatest scholars of 18th, 19th century. In fact, in those days, when they said Periva, they meant him. Even Kanchi Periva said Periva about him. When he died, when his wife died, rather, he was in his 80 years, his wife died. He said, she's taken my Agnihotram. That was what he said. That was what he was saying. She's taken my Agnihotram. Right, so why I brought this is, there are fire sacrifices that are supposed to be done during various stages, most of which we don't do. None of us does. It's gone. Except the wedding. The wedding, every single wedding, there is a proper yagyam done till date. And a Kanyadana is done properly. It is one of the few properly done rituals existing in our tradition right now. Okay. No. But the fire ritual is done for everybody. So homam is done. It's supposed to be done, and the saptapadi is supposed to be done. The tali grahanam is supposed to be done. As far as I know, it is supposed to be done by all. In Hindu tradition, there may be variations. It could be local variations, and some people may miss out. Traditions also lose over time. Who is to do it? Somebody has to do it, and if, it may not be there. Who knows what is there once virtual reality takes over and then you get married over internet or something. What do you do, I mean, it's very difficult. They want to get married by underwater in the space. No. They do that. So it's not, but we can't say. I mean, what I'm saying is, among the people, let me put it this way, among the people in which the fire tradition exists, the one place where it is still properly done is during the wedding. Except that the samskara includes the boy to say a lot of these mantrams, etc., which many fellows don't say. They're going on talking to the girl only. Yeah, and then the priestess will say, hello, please, you must say this. Okay, he will not. All right. So, you can always say prayashchittam and say mantra if I did mistake. But don't say in the first place, it's a problem. Okay. Now, so there's this. He says, best thing for you to do is to announce a Swayamvara for Krishna. Fair enough? And On hearing about it, that's why Draupadi Swayamvara is there, Pandavas, whether they are near, whether they are far, why? Even if they are in heaven themselves, they will come, I tell you this. They will come for Draupadi Swayamvara, I tell you this. There is no doubt about this. Announce the Swayamvara forthwith, do not delay. Clear instruction. It's useful if somebody gives you clear instructions, you can do three alternatives somebody gives. It's a problem. Which three? Which of the three? No, tell one. I have a colleague in the office. He always starts with three alternatives. Whenever we want a job to be not finished, we give it to him. He ensures it's not done. Sometimes it's useful to have people like that. Anyway, so yeah, you don't want some contract, you give him the negotiation. It will never get done. Three choices and everything. So clearly choice is given, and then this story is being told about the Swayamvara by this fellow to the Pandavas. No. He says, the Swayamvara is fixed for Pushyamasam, Shuklabaksham, Aushyamasam. Ekadashi, on what nakshatram? Rohini. There has to be magic. Right? There has to be magic. Right? We're talking on Krishna's birthday. It's on Rohini nakshatram that Krishna Swayamvara is going to take place. Right? 75 days from now. Oh lady, your sons look extremely able and handsome. He tells Kunti. Why don't you also go? Who knows? Krishna may choose one of your sons. You never know. Who knows the work of God? I tell you this, the town will be abuzz. The place is good. Panchala place is good. People have great regard for guests. You will get bhiksha, no problem. You go there. Good bhiksha you will get. Nalla kai patulna, you go there. It's a good time to go. Swayamvara time, festive mood. In fact, I am proceeding there with my disciples. You are welcome to join me. We can go together. So says this guest Brahmin to Kunti and Pandavas. Now Kunti takes Yudhishthira aside and says, son, we have stayed with this poor priest for quite some time now. We have also seen all that there is to see here, the garden, the forest, the river and all that. Again to see the same thing is not going to be much fun. Okay. Because sometimes, the husband will take the wife to the same garden again. But take me somewhere else here. You get bored. He got into one beat, he'll take you there only. So she said, no, Yudhishthira, I got bored of this place in a very nice way. And I think we should have a change. Also, we are not getting as much bhiksha as we were getting. That also happens. Initially, people are dazzled, everybody is giving. Then, people keep on coming asking bhiksha. One day you'll say, Yaru vitla ella ponga or something. People are giving less bhiksha. So I think, why don't we move from here? And then, if you agree, we can go to Panchala Desha. Yudhishthira says, mother, what you say is right. And whatever you say, I'm sure only the greatest good will come out of it for us. After all, you have our best wishes in your heart. But I don't know what my younger brother's views are. I need to ask them. Then Kunti says, no, you wait, I'll ask them. So she asked them appropriately. They say, yes, we will go. She says, they have said yes. Okay. And then he says, okay, if they have said yes, I have no problem. We'll all go. Okay. So on the way, when they're starting, this Vyasa lands up. This Vyasa lands up at key times. Vyasa lands up, suddenly comes, and all of them salute him. And he asks them, Api dharmena vartedhvam, shastrena cha parantapah, api vipreshu pujavah pujareshu hiyate. He asks them, so are you doing, are all of you observing dharma properly? Are all of you living as per Shastra? Are all of you praying appropriately at the right time? And all of you taking care of the elders? To the best of our ability, we are doing all that. Good. Now, I came here because I wanted to tell you about the Swayamvara of Draupadi. See, when you sometimes take a call, this is what I have to do. If you get a confirmation from God that is what you have to do, it works. Like that, Vyasa lands up and says, I want to tell you about this Draupadi Swayamvara. You should go there and try to win her hand. She says, fine. Then Vyasa leaves as soon as on the way he came. And then on the way, when they go there, oh, I'm going very slow. I don't think I'll reach where I wanted to reach. But I'll try. I'll try to go a little bit faster. On the way, when they go there in the night, Pandavas cross the river here and there. They go to the Ganges river and they have to cross the Ganges river. At that time, in the Ganges river, there's a Gandharva of name Chitraratha who's sporting there with his women. And he doesn't. He thinks he has a monopoly on the river at that time. He says, you men have no business. Who is this who dares come to the river at the time when I am dallying here? And when he finds there Pandavas, he says, you dare not come here because I'll finish you people if you come here. Don't you know that night time is reserved for Gandharvas, Rakshasas, Pishachas and such, and Manushas are not advised to cross rivers in the night. How dare you come here with what this thing and all? He starts shouting. Now, Arjuna is not used to this kind of language from anybody. He says, what crap you are talking. This is Ganges. Okay. There's no compulsion that I should come empty without having food or only after having food or during day, during night. No such compulsion exists. Anytime I want, I can come to Ganges and cross it. Who the hell are you to stop me? And so there's a massive fight between the two of them. And Arjuna gets fed up of it, and with Agneya Astra, he just burns that fellow's chariot into dust. In fact, his name Chitraratha comes from the fact that he's got a beautiful chariot. That he burns into dust. Then, when he falls down, Chitraratha falls down unconscious, his wife goes and pleads with Kunti and Yudhishthira, saying, please spare my husband. Don't kill him. And then Yudhishthira says, Abhayam, he will not be killed. Arjuna, don't kill him. Arjuna drags him, throws him there, and then he gets up and says, thanks for not killing me. I will teach you, I am a Gandharva. I will teach you, in return, I will teach you some new things which you don't know. I will teach you a shiksha called Chakshushi Vidya. By this Vidya, you will be able to see anything, anywhere in the three worlds that you want to see. Suppose suddenly you want to see, how does that side of the moon look? You can look. Anything, anywhere in the world, from any direction, anytime you want to have a look, by this Vidya, Chakshushi, you can have a look. Arjuna says, I don't take things for free from anybody. No. You teach me this Agneya Astra that you did on me. In return, I will teach you this. Both agree. They swear eternal friendship. And he also says, I will also gift you Gandharva horses. I gift you Gandharva horses. These horses are divine horses. They'll appear only when you want. When you don't want, they'll not be there. They can go at any speed. They can change shape. They can change color. They'll read your mind. Go at speed accordingly. They don't even need the earth. They can fly a little bit above the earth. Like that. These are Gandharva horses. I gift you them. Like that, they make a lot of good memorandum of understanding between Arjuna and Chitraratha. And then Gandharva. And then Arjuna says, by the way, I need to ask you a question. He said, yes. He said, how dare did you challenge me in the first place? This is what I am curious. You know me, right? I am Arjuna, right? He said, yeah, I know you. I know you very well. I heard all about you. But tell me, how dare did you think of challenging me in the first place? Yeah, I'll tell you. He said, what? He says, listen, it's like this. You see, you people are not doing these fire sacrifices properly. Because you are on the run. Moreover, since you are not married, you don't have to do the trikalam, all the three, some morning, afternoon and evening, the yagyam. By these two things, you are vulnerable. Remember, you are a little bit vulnerable. So only way, and the thing is that you also don't have a preceptor, a guru in front of you. Had there been a guru in front of you also, I would have thought you are without guru. You are not doing your dharma that should be done properly. You are not graduated to the next level of dharma either. But I could not defeat you for a simple reason. I'll tell you that also. I could have defeated you. I could not defeat you because all of you are observing brahmacharya very well. Had you been having a roving eye, I would have killed you. You wouldn't have had the spiritual power to withstand my onslaught. But you do not have. He tells Arjuna. That's how you got saved. But in case if you had, even if you had had, you're all Kshatriyas, you're all princes, you may have. If you had had, then only way you could have been saved is if you had a guru in front, then your burden would have been on him and I couldn't have done a damn thing again. So he tells him all his vulnerabilities. So he says, in which case it's high time we get a proper, we go with guru. Can you guide us to somebody? He says, I'll guide you. There's so and so place. When Dhaumya Rishi is there, you kindly go request him. They go there, they request him. Dhaumya agrees, becomes their priest and comes with them on the way to Panchala for the Swayamvara. We have done a quick pass forward. Dhaumya is over. They proceed towards Panchala by foot and they meet people who are going on the way. It's like Tiruvannamalai Girivalam on Paurnami day. Lakhs of people are walking towards Panchala for taking part in the Swayamvara, of seeing the Swayamvara. And it's a gala affair. And the whole town is agog. Heavy preparations are going on. All of them are eager to see the assembly of kings because all kings are going to come. It's Draupadi's Swayamvara. No king is going to miss the chance to, no. And in fact, Vyasa says, old people also tried their luck. Who knows? Old kings also came. Never know. Chance adikalam. They came and everybody knew lot of dana will be given. And then what else? Which you people will like? Nata Vaitalikas Tatra Nartakaha Sutamagadaha Niyodakacha Deshebhya Sameshanti Mahavalaha. Who else all had to come there? Nata. Drama people. All dramas are being entertainment. The Swayamvara of the princes. Entertainment. Nataha. Vaitalikas. Magicians. Jugglers. All over the place showing magic tricks. Nartakaha. Dances was going on. Sutamagadaha. Singers, storytellers, telling stories from stages. Niyodakachaiva deshebhya sameshanti mahabala, and wrestlers, strongmen, all such entertainers. These are all traditional village entertainments. Puppeteers, singers, dancers, stilts, all this regular. They are good fun, and these are all ways by which everybody used to be able to have a decent employment in those days. So all these are there, so heavy fun and everybody is going, eager to watch all the entertainment. They go towards Panchala and again, just before they reach Panchala, Vyasa appears before Pandavas, blesses them and vanishes. You see, you can have the best of ability, but you need the blessings of sages. So fulfill that, he appears, blesses them and vanishes. They reach Panchala and they have to stay hidden. Nobody knows they are Pandavas. They go to a house of a potter, a Koshavan, a potter's house, and they take refuge there. The king had a terrific bow made. Bow and arrow bow. He had a terrifically heavy bow made for the Swayamvara. He also made an ingenious competition, which all of you know, but worth hearing again. He got an ingenious competition made. He got an artificial fish made and attached it to a small thing which rotates at high speed. And the fish had a hole in the eye. And above that fish, he had exactly the same type of fish kept. 2 fishes. That was stationary. This was rotating. And below that, he had kept a bowl of manjal. What do you call manjal? Turmeric water. There's turmeric water. There's a rotating fish with a hole in it. Above that, there was a stationary fish with a hole in it. The competition was, you can look at this water, pick up this bow, string it, there are 5 arrows only. You can use one after another 5 arrows. Through that eye of that fish, hit the eye of the other fish, break both of them. This is the competition. First he has to lift the bow. That itself is a problem. He has to string it. And then finally, there's only 5 attempts. 5 arrows only are there. Now, till kingdom come, I'll keep trying. That's not allowed. Get out. 5 attempts. Okay? This is a competition. He has set it. God knows. He announced that his daughter's hand would be given to that hero who could string his mighty bow, shoot through the eye of the revolving fish, and hit the eye of the stationary fish, and get all of that falling to the ground. All the kings assembled there, gods, rishis, munis, gandharvas, yakshas, etc., assembled in the sky to watch. It's a great occasion. Everybody assembled in the sky to watch. The kings assembled for the competition. It was a terrific thing. All citizens assembled in the stadium. All the citizens and the lakhs of people from nearby towns had assembled. The sound was deafening. Deafening sound in the stadium. The stadium itself was designed in the shape of a porpoise. And in the head of the porpoise, the kings were sitting. The people were blowing drums and horns. Priceless agarbattis and fragrances were lit all over the place, wafting fragrance all over the stadium. There was sandal water sprinkled everywhere, flower garlands of hanging all over the place. And white skyscrapers like Kailasha mountain surrounded the stadium. That was the setting where the Swayamvara of the most beautiful princess of them all, Draupadi, was to take place on that day, the Rohini Nakshatram. They were decorated with these white mansions, these like Kailasha, they were decorated with golden stringed curtains. And diamonds and lapis lazuli and pearls were encrusted in those buildings in the white. Glittering like stars in a white sky. All the people came wearing fancy dresses and decorations, and women came looking their Sunday best. They were all wearing pretty dresses, and they had come with dresses and jewels and everything. Sunday worst, is it? What? Okay. Okay. Because the husband, idiot, doesn't deserve. Office, you have to wear good dress. Okay. Fair enough. Which is a good deal. But, coming back, now everybody was seated, the kings were seated in one place. These Pandavas were seated along with the Brahmins, so separate enclosures, they were sitting there. Audience, like that, they were all sitting. Homam, etc. was done, Vastu Puja was done, Veda was chanted, oblations are poured into the fire, and then finally priests chanted Swasti mantras and all that. And all this bugle banging, baja bajaying, shouting, priest chanting, everything suddenly, with one wave of the chief priest's hand, all of that was brought to a stop. All sound stopped. There was absolute silence. Everybody looked and waited with bated breath. And out of nowhere, Drishtadyumna entered the ring, holding his sister's hand, Draupadi, and brought her into the middle of the ring. There. All the people just swallowed katak on seeing this. Draupadi in the middle of it, nothing could come out. Choked, they were looking at her beauty. She was lovely, dazzling with jewels, dressed in the best, and was having a golden Jayamala in her hand, and was looking around. A woman in those days was allowed to be seen by everybody on certain occasions. One of them was her Swayamvara. Anybody can see her on that day. So she was looking her best, having a golden Jayamala in her hand, and everybody thought, Vyasa says, Pandaya illamar irundha ivlo nanna irundhu. Had there been no competition? Kya kare? Like that. And Drishtadyumna in a thundering voice, like a idi voice, he announces the rules of the competition and says, that hero, born in a noble family, who is handsome of form and supreme strength, and who can accomplish this great task, my sister Krishna will become his Dharmapatni. I speak the truth about this, and I do not lie. I have said it. She will be his. Who can do this? He says. And then he introduces Draupadi to all the royals there. This is so and so, that is so and so, and all the credentials. First, he introduced her to Duryodhana, who is sitting at the lead. In the middle of 99 of his brothers, he is sitting right up. Big shot. This is the glorious Duryodhana. She introduces him. He introduces her to Yuyutsu, the 101st son of Dhritarashtra. She introduces her to Karna. Introduces her to Shakuni, to Ashwattama, to Neela, Jarasandha, Shishupala, Jayadratha. All the kings from all the places have come. Sindhu Desha Jayadratha. Their king came, a king from Pandya Desha. Kalinga Desha, Orissa side. Vanga Desha, Bengal. Sindhu Desha, Peshawar side. Peshawar side, Afghan, Gandhar Desha. Everywhere people came, kings were there. Kamboj Desha. From all over the land, the people had assembled that day for the Swayamvara. He introduced her to all of them, and yes, he finally came and introduced her to Sankarshana, to Pradyumna, to Aniruddha, to Uddhava, and the great Vrishni king, Bhagavan, Sri Krishna. There is magic, I told you. We have started Mahabharatam 4 or 5 months back. Krishna has not come till date. The first appearance Krishna makes in this great epic of Bharata is in the Swayamvara of Krishna on Rohini Nakshatra. So all these kings have assembled for the great Swayamvara, the details of which will follow next week. We have reached time, 7:45. What is the Hanuman Shloka? Who will tell any shloka of Krishna being birthday? Anybody knows a special, anything small, big, song, Carnatic, Shastriya, film? Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Janavallabhaya Paraya Paramapurushaya Paramatmane. Let's go. See. Namah Parvati Pataye Janaki Kanta Smaranam Gopika Jivana Smaranam Vetrivel Muruganuk Shri Sadguru Swaminah Shri Anjaneya Swaminah